Hey everyone, welcome in. It's me, your boy, Nathan. I'm joined by Malik. Say hi.
Hey everybody. Hey.
I'm also joined by Kurtis. Say hi.
Hello everybody, thank you for joining us.
And we are 3 Peas in a Podcast.
He is eating that microphone. So today we are talking about drama in the gaming industry. I will be talking about Kerbal Space Program. What do you guys want to talk about?
I couldn't figure out what to talk about. So out of all of the game industries, the game leading legends, whatever you want to call them, I chose Roblox Corporation. Not Roblox itself, but the people who own them. Why? Because really, they are this huge company that I have come up with the term of lazy developers. And I'll tell you why. But Nate, who are you talking about?
I got Relogic. I got nothing bad to say about Relogic. I got some cool things to talk about with them. They're a cool company.
Is that the people who did Terraria?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They actually got a couple other things under their belt too. Develop-wise, it's Terraria. Published, they got a couple other games.
Huh. I didn't realize they were publishers.
Oh yeah. But I ain't gonna talk smack on my boys at Relogic. Relogic got it together.
Okay.
They were able to dunk on who? Devolver?
Was that a video game or a studio?
Another developer studio. I forget who it was, but they dunked on somebody. Hold on.
They trying to make Terraria at home?
I cannot find it. I think it was Devolver. They created like Enter the Gungeon, I believe.
Oh, I have heard that one. That's a game I've heard of.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure they had beef with Terraria because they were talking about how all their games are doing so good, and Terraria dunked on them by saying, "We've made one game and sold more copies than all your games combined."
That's honestly funny.
So, Relogic's got together, bro. So Relogic is a small crew. They got 11 people in it. Their leader is a dude named Andrew Spinks. No, Mr. Spinks, he's kind of a meme guy. He got caught up in some, like, trolling / like, suing Google a couple years back. They accidentally banned his Google account. And it got rid of, like, all of his files. And it took them, like, a hot minute to reinstate that. So he said that he wasn't going to release his game on their Google's console that they came out with a couple years ago. What was it? I think it began with an S.
Oh, is that the Stadia or whatever?
Stavia or something like that.
Yeah, Google Stadia. It was one of the first ones that was like, we're going to stream video games to your house, and then it flopped, and everyone was like, yeah, that's a dumb idea.
But he said that he wasn't going to release his game on the Stadia because they fucking nuked his account. And he had to settle in court by giving him a lot of monies to put Terraria on the console. But I thought it was a really cool like company because they made one game. It initially started on PC, and it branched off into so many other things. March 26, 2013, they got on the 360. March 27, 2013, they got on the PS3. They got onto the PS Vita December 2013 and just kept on going. Like every single mainstream console that came out, it ended up getting released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, the Nintendo 3DS, Wii U. It was put onto the iOS system and Androids. Like it just kept on going. Like this company, so many game companies and publishers, developers have such a difficult time transitioning their game to from PC to a console or vice versa. It's just like it's an impossibility for some games. And then when they port, you run into the chance that it just ports like dog shit anyways after working on it for a long time. they've managed to port on every single console game and not run into many major issues at all. I did mention that they had a couple games that they released shortly after Terraria released. Terraria released in 2011. Probably should have said that much sooner. But 2011 it came onto PC.
Jesus.
Yeah. Shortly thereafter, they helped publish a game called Pixel Piracy. Looked it up. It does not look that great.
I bought it. It's terrible. I honestly didn't realize why I bought it because I haven't played it in like 8 years. I must have bought it because they distributed it. It is honestly one of the few games in my library that I feel is like a waste of money. I have like 35 minutes in it.
Yeah, I just by looking at this Steam page, I was like, "What is this hog shit?" They dropped another game shortly. Well, they didn't drop it. They published another game a little bit later called Pixel Privateers. That game actually looks relatively cool. It's very simplistic in its design, but it has a cool little sci-fi thing going on with it. It's pretty cool. Not a half bad game. But Terraria, they had said several times that they were just going to stop updating it. They released it in 2011. In February of 2012, they said that they weren't going to do any more updates. Then in 2013, they decided to resume development. After they dropped a couple more updates, they stopped. And then in 2019, at the E3 event, they announced that they were going to drop another update, the Journey's End update, which added like all their space stuff. And to this day, they continue to work on it. Every time they think they're done with the game, they add even more stuff to it. Terraria has been a game that I played. The first time I played it was at one of my friend's houses on the 360. I played Minecraft a ton, and he was like, let's play something different. He talked me into Terraria, immediately fell in love with the game. A couple months later, I ended up getting the iPod, and then a couple months after that, I found out they finally ported it to the phone, and I played the crap out of it on my phone. Like that, like I would literally days play Terraria. And to this day, I still play Terraria. It's such a good time. The modding community has done a lot of really cool stuff with it as well. Calamity, my brothers talked me into playing that a couple of times. It's hard as fuck. It's just like, it's such a simple game, but they do so much with it. The music in it, phenomenal. Boss fights are great. They get intense. Like the bullet hell aspect of it gets intense as you get further into the game. And I don't know, Terraria, Relogic is a company, for them being so small and being able to do all the work that they've done over the years, it's kind of crazy, and they've done really well for themselves. Relogic is awesome.
I was curious. I was second monitoring it while you were telling your story about Pixel Piracy. It was released a year later, lost development, and then in 2023, apparently, like, a new guy bought it or something. Like, the development studio went bankrupt, went on a development hiatus for 7 years, and then now it's back, and they just released a DLC not that long ago. So, maybe it's back, but it's kind of buns. Because I have 46 minutes in it. Last played 2016. So, I was one of those people that, like, bit into the hype and then was immediately burned. But, you know, I think it was like a $10 game or whatever. So, it's not the end of the world.
We'll have to touch base on Pixel Piracy again in a few months.
Yeah.
Pixel Piracy Online is dropping in 2025, baby.
I mean, from the description, it sounds cool. I think it's just kind of poor execution, maybe.
It would definitely be one of those games. It would be like a throwaway $5-$10 game. And just
Yeah, like if this came out
play
as
with
part
the
of a
boys.
game jam or something, I think it would be a lot better received than the fact that it was like, hey, it's an indie developer and Relogic supporting it, and then it was kind of buns. So, we'll see. Hopefully it gets better, but, you know, Lethal
Relogic
Companies
tried to
got
broaden
one
their
dev.
horizons too quick. They did Terraria, then they were like, let's do something different. Realized we need to fall back to Terraria, and they never looked back.
Terraria's good. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. But that's my spiel. Love Relogic. Love them. They do good.
They do. Terraria is a very good game.
It goes on sale all the time. We're not sponsored, but if you're on Steam, wait for one of them sales to pop up. Cop Terraria. You won't regret it. You can get T-Mod Loader for free, and then you can start popping in mods into that thing too.
I'm sure a lot of people who would listen to this probably already have Terraria. It's quite popular.
Don't, you're living under a rock and you need to grab it.
Oh. Wow. You're pushing it pretty hard, bud.
It's a good game, bro, and it's like $5-10. What are you gonna do with $5?
I don't think it's that cheap. Well, maybe on sale. On sale it is.
It's currently selling for
$9. It is actually a $10 game still.
Yeah, it's a $10
game.
Dang,
that's a crazy steal for $10.
Or you can get a 4-pack for $29.99.
You and your boys mining together doesn't
get
better than that.
It is better multiplayer for sure.
Oh yeah.
Malik, would you like to go next, or do you want to hear some KSP drama?
I'm gonna let your drama go last. Save the best for last.
Okay. I appreciate the compliment.
I don't think my Roblox spiel is gonna be that exciting. I've mentioned in previous recordings that Roblox was one of the first games I've ever played on PC. So I went digging into their history a little bit, not really diving too deep. But Roblox as a corporation itself, Roblox Corporation as it's known, was founded in 2004 by two guys, Dave and Eric something. I don't remember their last names. But as I was looking, the first game that they were working on was called Dynablocks.beta, which was being developed when their company was created in 2004, which was then switched in 2005 to Roblox.beta, which then was formally released as Roblox itself in 2006. 2013, Eric, the second founder of the company, passed away, and in that time the company had 26 employees, which it raised to 163 by December of 2016. They were merging with different companies, which I honestly, you think of big business and they take over and acquire companies all the time, but Roblox, this little video game that everybody loves, they're just buying and closing companies. They bought a company that was making mobile games, acquired all of their employees, their CEO. They bought another company that handles VoIP.
Real glad you're going first, because it's setting up mine perfectly, because mine is definitely like publisher, developer, like overlord studio drama. So I feel like you're kind of setting the stage real well.
Yeah. You may know the name Gilded, maybe not, but it's a VoIP instant messaging company, which, ironically, I learned is Discord's direct competition, and only competition for that matter. But Gilded itself, a little bit of a side tangent here, Gilded itself only focuses mainly on gaming, like esports, different video game clans, like if you played World of Warcraft, that kind of stuff. And that's mainly their only thing. Their servers are set up specifically for gaming communities, and they were purchased by Roblox in 2021. But like I said, all of their employees and whatnot merged over into Roblox Corporation.
Okay. I might date myself and you might not have the answer.
Sure.
You said it was the only direct competitor to Discord. Mm-hmm. Is this similar to TeamSpeak? Because to me, that was like, as soon as Discord came out, TeamSpeak was killed. But before that, like, that was the go-to. Otherwise, you were doing, like, Skype calls or something.
Yeah, definitely. Skype was huge before. And a lot of people were still using Skype when Discord was being born. TeamSpeak, I don't know. I've never looked at Gilded. I have used TeamSpeak and I have used Skype. I don't know what Gilded looks like at all. But from what I've been told, they are a very big competitor to, I wouldn't say they're a huge, like they're not forcing Discord out of the game at all, but they definitely are there, and Discord, knows of them. So yeah, in the early 2000s and early 2010s, that's really how they were growing so largely, by taking over other companies and acquiring their, employees. They have Loom AI, Packet Zoom, Triple Play, a bunch of stuff that nobody knows, but a lot of these companies that they have acquired are now closed. And then you think of Roblox again being this great game, but there's a lot of legal disputes that happen with the company as well. I learned in 2016, Cinemark Theaters, the entire theater company, filed a lawsuit against Roblox Corporation over a trademark infringement because they claimed that user-created games within Roblox itself were using trademarked branding for Cinemark Theaters and making very, very similar theaters looking like their locations and stuff like that. So they sued Roblox Corporation over that.
That's crazy. I mean, weren't people like making movie theaters and just streaming actual movies in Roblox for a while?
I mean, they have since added the ability to put videos and stuff in your game, so I'm sure they are.
Because I know, like, way back when, that was a big thing with, like, even Twitch streamers were just like, let's watch this entire anime together, and,
Right.
like, it wasn't getting dinged by any kind of copyright or anything, so.
Yeah. They were, in 2022, sued by a parent who, alleged that their child was being coerced by sexual predators and stuff like that. And in this lawsuit, Snapchat and Discord were also named. But if you guys remember, there was that whole period where Discord was under a lot of fire because of all the servers that was going on and whatnot. So Discord has had a lot of troubles with that, and I guess Roblox kind of dragged them back into it. And then another lawsuit that was brought to them, which this one actually piqued my interest. In 2023, a class action lawsuit was brought against the corporation because the lawsuit alleged that Roblox profited off of the minors who were buying Robux to participate in third-party gambling rings. So Roblox was hit in 2023 with a RICO Act charge.
Dang! That's the kind of shit you hit mob bosses with. That's
Exactly.
crazy.
Yes. So I thought that was great.
I mean, we definitely played the one where you just punch each other in a school. So, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Maybe Roblox isn't the best thing for the youth. Hot take.
But let me get to that. Roblox itself, they made this game, and this is when we started the episode, I said that they are a lazy developer. They have over 40 million games. Roblox themselves have only made one game, that being Roblox itself. I'm sure they have games in their world, but all of the games on their website, on their app, whatever, are made by other people. So they're really updating the background, but they're not actually developing any of these games, which I thought was pretty interesting. A lot of their stuff is user-made. In 2024, they were the most popular video game on all gaming platforms.
Well, it's free. I think it makes sense.
Dude, I heard of a lawsuit on Roblox a couple of years ago because I was like part of a lot of like the Pokemon channels. They got sued a few years back for, I think it was like Pokemon Bronze Brown. Like it was like a full rip of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. All the way to like the battle screens and everything, the music, all of it. That they got sued by Nintendo a few years back.
Nintendo's always suing people for making copyright games. I mean, there's like Pokemon Uranium, and there's all kinds of fun, really good, like almost full conversions. Like it's basically its own Pokemon game. And they're constantly getting pulled down by the Nintendo company. Like, I love Game Freak, but also Nintendo and Game Freak in general are like the worst for copyright material. Because like, they realize if there is any genuine competition, they wouldn't be the most popular. So they have to be super litigious because, like, look at, what is it, Temjin or whatever?
Temtem
Yeah, Temtem and Pal World was the other one I was going to say. Like, they are actively in litigation with Pal World right now still, I think.
There is currently roughly 60,000 people currently playing Pal World.
Yeah, that would be enough to sue over.
That's kind of a chunk of people, but at the same time, I think the last I checked on the lawsuit, the only thing they got them at is the fucking ball throwing.
Yeah. Well, and there was a couple, like, the art was similar enough that I was like, yeah, I could see him maybe getting dinged on that, but, like, that's going to be hard to fight on.
Yeah.
But Roblox, I mean, they've got, like, actual copyrighted, like, if there's any game you can think of, from Farming Simulator to, like, shit, they've even got their own version of Fortnite, and, like, it's crazy.
Well, one of my closest friends back when I used to play, we still talk every once in a while. He actually made a exact, and he still updates it. Well, not anymore because she's off, but he made an exact replica of the Ellen DeGeneres set and got very popular off of off of that. He scripted it perfectly. All the lights did their thing. The door opened. The screens, changed. All that type of stuff.
That's crazy.
I mean, it was very accurate. He got very, very famous and popular on Roblox off of that.
Those Robux are worth real monies.
They are, yes. Which, there was another lawsuit where a bunch of streamers and stuff, social media influencers, sued Robux because they weren't able to convert their Robux to real money. There was a settlement, and I want to say 2016. I don't have it written down. I want to say it was 2016, where they paid out like some amount of millions of dollars back in Robux to anybody who bought an item on the website before a certain date. So they've got a lot going.
Did you
for
get
them.
any money back?
I wasn't playing at the time. I'm sure I could have.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But my last point that I want to make, I've got two more points that I really want to make here because you guys might like this one. The first one is banned in China, Roblox itself, China, Guatemala, Jordan, North Korea, and Oman. Obviously because it's a Western game and all that type of stuff. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But the big meme that everybody loves, the oof sound, it existed in Roblox from its beginning, when Roblox first came out, up until, I want to say, 2020, because they were involved in a legal dispute with a game company known as Shiny Entertainment. That sound, the oof sound that's all over the internet, all over TikTok, etc., belongs to a game called Messiah, which was released in 2002, I think. The character throughout the whole game makes that sound, and Roblox took that sound and used it in their game.
No wonder they're getting sued.
Yeah, but here's the interesting point about that. I delved into Messiah and Shiny Entertainment. That game was published by Interplay Entertainment. Why do we know that name? They
Did
also
they buy it?
published Baldur's Gate.
Oh, shoot. That's crazy.
That's so
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, that is my podcast edition today. Thank you all for listening to me.
No, it was good. It's good. I
That's
like
cool.
that Baldur's Gate is second to the oof sound.
Yes, I mean Baldur's Gate is the best game ever made, right under LA Noire. So I will make note of it in every episode that we have.
I mean, that's fine. It's very well received. I mean,
What would be cool is if somewhere in like the files they have the oof sound effect in Baldur's Gate. Sorry, I heard like a very loud noise and it made me panic. Cut my pause.
we will not. But that also makes me think of like the coconut. I think it's TF2. There's just a random PNG of a coconut somewhere in the code, and they can't delete it because it breaks the game, and nobody knows why it breaks the game. So there's just forever a PNG of a coconut in the code. So my drama. Both of you played Kerbal Space Program, correct?
No, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So we got
Never
one
played
fan.
Curb.
Well, then I'll use Nate as the sounding board for the general population who doesn't know what Kerbal Space Program is. It's
I just want to interject. You have
Yes.
99.6 hours in this game, so you know what you're talking about.
it's a good game. I love Kerbal Space Program. It is a little too mathy for me. I'm too stupid to make like the space planes.
Right.
I don't get it. But it's a good sciencey, like physics-based space simulator in quotation marks. Mm-hmm. It's not really a simulator in like the way Farming Simulator is a simulator,
Right.
but like it is hard, raw physics, and you have to, like, know the physics of the game to make your spaceships work. Otherwise, you're just making bombs with little innocent Kerbals inside. And, like, I think that's why the game is as popular as it is. Like, it's a fun concept. It's good for the, like, demographic of people who want to play it. And it's got cute little animals called the Kerbals, which are basically just minions in every way, except they're not yellow. But the game originally released in 2015. And they were like, hey, this is really good. It had decent UI, I think a little bit. Looking back, it's dated. There's some mods to help fix it. There's also still a very healthy modding community. And after my controversy, the modding community has only gotten better and bigger because the sequel was such a flop.
Of course.
I think there's even a mod for the first game that makes the UI look like the second game because the second game was so bad. They're just like, we'll use the one that works. But, like, going into the sequel, everyone had such high hopes because, like, the first game was good. Mods told the developers what people wanted in the game. They even hired a couple of the modders, I think, and they were like, hey, this sequel's going to be great. So, the drama story involves 3 big companies: Private Division, Take-Two Interactive, and Intercept Games. Take-Two is like the big corporate overlord holding company. And underneath them, they own Private Division, which is a game publisher company. And that was created in 2017 to focus on indie development. Intercept Games is a game development studio that actually makes the games. And that was created for Kerbal Space Program 2. So Private Division is the publisher, Intercept Games is the developer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to go in the way back time machine to 2019. No COVID. I just graduated college. Life's full of hope. Kerbal Space Program 2 just gets announced. That's why there's hope.
Good setup.
So it's 4 years after the launch of the original game. And it's announced at Gamescom with a release of 2020. It's coming out next year. Everyone's super excited. They set super high expectations. Yeah, a short timeline. Like, it's fine. Nothing's going to happen next year, right? 2020 is a breeze for game development. So yeah, everything kind of explodes in the world. And we can debate a little bit how much they overpromised and how much of it was the COVID, but I really don't think the game was as well developed as they wanted it to be. Because later on, we find out some things. But they promised 2020, it's coming out for sure. Don't worry about it, guys. But then it gets delayed until fall of 2021 because the world shuts down. Movie studios and larger game studios are all setting a precedent of like, hey, everything's getting delayed. So it doesn't set any alarm bells off in the fandom, you know. Everyone's locked in their house. Game getting developed a little bit later down the road isn't really anyone's concern. And during this time is actually when Take-Two and Private Division are setting up Intercept Games. They're taking this opportunity to kind of restructure the health of the studio, and they're going to make it under this new one. Because originally, it was under Star Theory Games. And they kind of gut that company and build this new game development company. And so things are a little hopeful. We've got a new release date. It's got a new studio behind it. Everything's going to be great. But as you're getting closer to the end of 2020, it's delayed again. Now it's coming out in 2022. Okay, fine. You know, they restructured the company. A little understandable that things are going to get delayed even more. As long as it's a good game, nobody cares, right? Sometimes delaying a game makes it better. Mm-hmm. You don't want another one of the, you know, CD Projekt Red kind of controversies. So that hasn't happened yet. This is predating that, but, you know, Cyberpunk and every Bethesda game in the last 10 years has come out to bugs and controversy, and so, you know, the fan base is like, you know, this is a hardcore physics-based game. Let's get it right. Well, the thing about that is, summer of 2021, they delay it again. But it's okay this time, because they're promising that when it does launch, It'll launch on all platforms. We're going to have PlayStation, Xbox, PC support. Don't worry, the delay's worth it because now everyone can get it at the same time. And then as you near closer to that third deadline they've pushed, it gets delayed a fourth time to 2023. Yay! Finally, we're going to come out. So May of 2022, they make their last announcement that it's delayed for a fourth time. It's going to be 2023. For real this time. And it does. But then it comes like the next flaw in the whole thing. It's not ready. The game's not even close to be ready. It's been almost released for 5 years now. It's announced in Gamescom's 2019. It is now 2023. The game comes out 4.5 years later, and it's super like bad. And a lot of the controversy comes that like they've delayed it so many times, they're feeling pressure from the executives. They've rebuilt the structure of the whole company. They've hired new people. They just got to send something out. So you fast forward to the end of 2023, the game releases. It's not great. It's basically the first game with some fresh coat of paint, a couple new parts, and less features than the actual base game, like the first one. There's no science mode in it, which is like a career system. It's like sandbox or nothing, I think. I haven't played the second one because it was in so much controversy. I just didn't want to touch it.
It's $50.
$50.
$50.
Yeah. Yeah, it is not a cheap thing. And it is still actively on sale, which is another problem down the line I'll talk about. But yeah, the game is sitting at mixed reviews on Steam. Most of the fan base hates it. When it finally launched, it's early access. It's not even like a full launch of like a developed game. It launches in early access. And it's out for 8 full months with minor updates. And then they're like, okay, here comes the first major update. Is everyone ready? We're adding a new game mode. And it's basically the career mode that was already in the first one. So 8 months after early development, it finally is like almost on par with the first game. So not everyone's happy about that. And it kind of gets review bombed. And it gets review bombed a couple times over the course of its life. But they come out with a roadmap. They're like, okay, I understand people are upset. We'll put a roadmap out there. You know, hopefully that'll calm things down. Well, April of 2024, last year, like 9 months ago, Private Division has to issue a warn notice saying that it is closing Intercept Games and laying off all of its developers. This is the one that like really causes the review bombing. The recent reviews, I think, as of recording, is overwhelmingly negative 5% when I wrote my notes.
Yeah.
5% of your fan base being okay with the game. Honestly, you could argue that 5% is probably bots or people who like
Copium,
work for the company.
Bro. Copium. They're just coping too hard.
Yeah, it's rough. And overall, it's sitting at 32%. So, for an additional 9 or 10 months now, from when the warn notice goes out to now, the game sits in limbo. There's no development. We're not really sure who owns the game, but you can still buy it. You can buy it full price, and nobody knows where that money goes at the moment, because they're actively trying to sell. Private Division, the publishing company, is actively trying to sell the KSP like intellectual property off because they want to focus on bigger things, and they don't see KSP2 as worth the time because it's been stuck in development hell for the last 4 years. And on top of that, it's coming out that a lot of the coding and everything for the second game is just reused assets from the first game.
Right.
With a fresh coat of paint. Fuck,
yeah,
dude.
it's literally just a fresh coat of paint.
Jesus Christ.
And so it has a lot of the same flaws. It's not going to get multiplayer, or you're not going to expand the galaxy or any of these fun things the fan base was hoping for, because it's just built on the same bad skeleton as the first game. So it's terrible. And to wrap up the whole crappy development timeline, this is coming right after they released the DLC for the first game. So the DLC releases, then they announce the second one because they got to get that money from the first one before the second one comes out. So they milk the first one for all of its DLC money, and then they announce the second one and try to milk that as much as they can. And you find out later the development team, they were actually trying to develop them at the same time, the DLC and the sequel, and the two teams weren't allowed to communicate to each other. So you have people who are writing code that is being stolen by the other team, and they don't know how to update it or fix it, and so it's just a whole big can of worms in the background of the game, and everything's going to shit. So the only silver lining is that there's another IP coming from the ashes. It is called Kitten Space Agency. It is basically KSP, but it's a completely different studio, and they have hired from the ashes, since everyone got like fired and canned, of the development studio, but not the publishing studio. All of the developers and the modders who worked on the first game are getting hired by this Kitten Space Agency to make basically the competition. It's pretty early. There's only some like very early videos coming out. There's no like release date or anything that I know of. But it's basically the same game with a different cute insert. Instead of minions, it's cats. And so I think the final statement about the story is that the Kerbal Space Program intellectual property is dead. If you know, the development team, or not the development team, the publishing team, private division is able to sell it off, it'll never be healthy because they're just trying to scrap it for money. And, you know, the development team was working with limited resources on tight deadlines using the same crappy game engine that is completely unstable, and they weren't able to collaborate in any way. So, like, I don't want any of the blame going on the development team. It sounds like it's not their fault. It's more the corporate overlords trying to milk money and resell it. But I think, hopefully, the spiritual successor will be worth it. But it's a little too early to tell.
I like how Kitten Space Agency?
Yeah. Kitten Space Agency, almost the same acronym.
A competition, but really they're not competing against anybody because the first game has its own fans. People will always love that game. But KSP2 really isn't much to compete against. So really they're just being birthed.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say it's really a competition, because if you're stealing some of the main like faces and development team from that intellectual property, like if, I don't know, George Lucas sells Star Wars to Disney and then Disney completely guts it, and George Lucas is like, hey, I'm coming out with this new thing called Space Battles.
Right.
It's like, well, hold on. Okay, so Star Wars is no longer being produced, and this new Space Battles thing comes out. It's like, is it really a competition?
Well, I like that. That was honestly I learned a lot.
I felt like this one was very, I don't know. I felt like I don't have a journalism degree, no journalistic bone in my body, but it felt very like investigative journally as I was typing it up. So I can, pretend that I did something.
It was put together very well. I just want to add one more point, not to outshine you, but if you use Steam at all, when I joined Steam in 2014, I was offered 3 free games. One of them being Unturned. Unturned classic. Came from a Roblox developer called Dead Zone Zach. He made this game on Roblox called Dead Zone, ironically. But from what I was learning and reading as I was giving my portion, my topic, apparently Dead Zone Zach made this huge. The Unturned got super big, and Roblox attempted to take credit for how big it became because it was it started on their platform. I just thought I would add that.
No, I get it. I mean, I liked Unturned. I think that was one of the first games I actually played with you.
Yeah.
It's good.
Unturned is such a good time. I don't like. I think Unturned is what got me into like games like Zomboid and playing games like that. Honestly,
The survival zombie games.
That whole survival, gather resources, inventory management, like controlling stuff, like, oh, love it.
I'm sure there's other games that have like started as specifically Roblox mods. I know like League of Legends started as Dota started as a World of Warcraft Frozen Throne mod. And then League of Legends, I think, spinned off that. So it's like 2 mods removed from the source game, but like...
I did not know Dota came from a Frozen Throne mod. That's so cool.
DayZ was born in... PUBG was born in DayZ.
Yeah.
Which was born in Arma. So...
Yeah.
It really all just...
It's pretty common. So, you know, I'm sure there's other games that have started in Roblox for sure.
Roblox, like anything you could think of, probably on Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
Probably there. They probably got full-blown RTSs you can play on Roblox.
I'm sure they do.
They do.
They've got a lot of tower defenses and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So
Believe that.
It's all weird and like first person though, because there's like an Age of Empires one that I wanted to test out, and it's so terrible because you have to like physically walk around. It's not like top-down view like an RTS should be. It just doesn't mix well.
I say we play Roblox Total War. Total War Roblox. Let's get on that.
Well, this was fun.
I think this was good. We did good, y'all.
we had a really good time. We learned a lot, taught each other a lot.
Love the drama.
I hope we were able to teach all of you out there in this lovely world listening to our beautiful voices.
Thank you all for listening today. We really learned a lot. I really enjoyed hearing about KSP. Relogic, wonderful. I enjoyed telling you guys about Roblox. What say you two?
I say follow us on whatever platform you're listening to us on, and come back next week for a special Valentine's Day episode.
Heck yeah. Share with your peeps. Make sure you're delivering the good news, the good word. All this knowledge has to be spread. I enjoyed hearing about the KSP drama. It got me interested and had me looking up KSP because I've never played that before. So you got me on the hook there. I've definitely played Roblox before. That's not something I can shy from. Relogic, love you. Chef's kiss of a game, Terraria is. Doesn't get much better than that. Thank you guys for joining us this week. Have an awesome day. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye now.